biology science club.
This is a mental hospital.
Where are all the images coming from? Where is all the sound coming from? Stop talking to me. Where is the sound coming from?
Do you have schizophrenia?
The symptoms of schizophrenia are as follows.
Wait, do you see that big spider here?
What spider?
I think the spider is like talking to me.
What spider is talking to you?
Wait, the spider's on me. The spider's on me.
What spider? Are you crazy?
Hallucinations.
Next one is trying to do homework.
Trouble concentrating. Introduce yourself.
My name is Achilles.
What is your favorite subject?
Biology.
Who is your favorite teacher?
Mr. Zheng.
Will not answer until further prompted. Whose friend died last night?
Okay.
They died in a fire.
Okay.
I set the fire.
Okay.
Flat affect.
Wake up! You need to go to school. Why don't you want to go to school?
I don't motivation. I want to die.
Oh, okay. Can you help me with my biology assignment?
Can I go?
No
home?
motivation.
Okay, class, PE 9-minute jumping exam.
Cannot jump.
Movement disorders.
What did you do on your trip to Sky 100?
At 8 o'clock, we will in school. So go to Sky 100 by bus. We will play some games in the bus. At 12:10, we will in the 100 Sky. We can take a
Confused, disorganized speech.
friends.
你拍啦，你講啦。
The first types of symptoms are positive symptoms. They happen because the patient has schizophrenia. If they don't have schizophrenia, they wouldn't have these symptoms. These symptoms include hallucination, delusion, trouble concentrating, confused speech, and movement disorders. These symptoms occur due to problems in the mesolimbic pathway, which is a pathway starting from the middle of the brain, which is new dimension oblongata, up into the prefrontal cortex. What happens in this pathway is that in the presynaptic cells, there is an overabundance of dopamine, and in the postsynaptic, that means like the dendrons, there is also an abundance of D2 receptors. D2 receptors are a type of dopamine receptors that detect dopamine. So what happens is because there's abundance of dopamine and abundance of receptors, the neurons in this pathway are overactivated, and all the signals in here they travel to other parts of the brain, such as they could travel into the auditory cortex from the language producing area. So that's how we get hallucinations, because like the brain cannot distinguish that signals from the language producing part has traveled into the auditory part. Symptoms of schizophrenia is, problems such as avolition, which means that you don't have the motivation to do stuff. Number 2, alogia, which means that you will not answer to further questions until further prompted. Number 3, lack affect. That means that you don't have any emotional response, or you don't show a lot of emotional response. And number 4, cognitive problems. Problems that you can't remember stuff, you can't store or use information effectively. These issues will arise if you have problems in the mesocortical pathway. In the mesocortical pathway, if you have, there are not a lot of dopamine of dopamine, and there are also not a lot of D2 receptors. The difference between the mesocortical pathway and the mesolimbic pathway, as I mentioned before, is in the mesocortical pathway there is not enough dopamine activity here, but in the mesolimbic pathways there are too much. 跟住想講埋咩樣 Current treatment plans use antipsychotic drugs that block receptors in the postsynaptic cells. So this drug will block the D2 sites on the cells such that dopamine cannot bind to them. Current drugs include aripiprazole and azathioprine, so they can help reduce problems of delusions or hallucinations. In the past, there are old type drugs called phenazines. They will cause side effects in these three pathways that are also affected by dopamine.
In this video, I'm sure that you all know more about schizophrenia. They may seem a bit different from us, but does that mean that we can treat them with differently and discriminate against them? After all, we live in a society and we are all humans. And as humans, we need to respect each other. After all, just like our school, the world should be a safe and harmonious place